Where the Spirit of the Lord.
105.9 Shine FM, safe and fun for the whole family. I'm with singer-songwriter Jason Upton, who's in Edmonton here for YC. Jason, how are things with you?
Great.
Hey, I want to talk a little bit about, I touched upon the singer-songwriter thing. What do you really enjoy more? Is there one thing that you really enjoy more, singing or songwriting, or is it about an even thing for you?
I love songwriting. Yeah, I love it. I love the whole process, and the expression of worship versus the activity of worship is kind of like singing versus songwriting. I mean, the whole makeup of our lives of worship is so much more important than just when we're singing songs about worship. The actual, like, I can sing about trusting God, or I can actually trust God. And so the activity of worship. And so for me, the whole process of like getting revelation and seeing that come, full swing, full process of writing or developing a song, that's always such a great place for me. And just frankly, worshiping at home is even just sitting on a piano, and that first moment that something comes out and you just sing it for the first time, it really never gets better than that. So I really enjoy that element.
Do you find, do you have a family, Jason?
Yeah, I have 4 kids.
Okay. Now, do you find that as your kids get older, as your family maybe gets bigger and stuff like that, that songwriting becomes a little bit tougher because you have to spend more time with the family? Do you try to get away on like a retreat by yourself to kind of do some writing? How do you kind of balance that?
Yeah, what I've done is I just write with the kids, and so they're in my life, and I just kind of I write with them, and I let that dictate that it's part of the circumstances of my life, and so therefore I know it's part of God's will for what I'm writing at this time. And so just allowing that, just like when I wrote "Is There Room in Your Womb, Young Woman," when I wrote that for Rachel after we found out that we might not be able to have children. So I've written tons of music that is spawned from having kids, and that whole process, and how you see God, and even when you read the scripture, how it transforms things. And then also when I bring Samuel and Emma, they're our oldest, they're the ones that really write with me the most. When I bring them into a scripture or something that I'm thinking about, their ability to observe is their observation, and their way of saying things is quite amazing. The only thing I can relate it to is when you go overseas and you're with somebody that's speaking back to you in a broken English. They're using terms that they're trying to find the right term. And that's the way children are. When they say something to you, they say such things in such unique ways, their phrasing. Like Samuel one day came up with this, hey, let's ask Jesus to come down and be with us. And he came up with this term, well, tell him to come to the next to me place. So I wrote, oh wow, I'd never heard of that phrase before. But he was trying to say, tell him to come right here. But the way he said it was, tell him to come to the next to me place. And I said, what an unbelievable phrase. So I put that in this song, Hey Jesus, and it says, won't you come down to the next to me place, with a smile on my face and a song in my ear. So it's like, I've just said, okay, God, this is what you've brought, and there's beauty in what can look at times like chaos, and it's pretty amazing what we can write together. So
that's pretty cool. Now let's talk a little bit about the new album coming out. We were talking about family here, and you got a new project coming out. Maybe just describe to us what we can expect when it hits the store shelves.
Well, I mean, it's family music, so it's completely different than anything I've ever done, because my kids wrote it with us, and Brian's kids wrote the songs with him, and Micah wrote some songs with his wife, and so we have Micah's grandfather in his 80s playing trumpet, and and the music was just written because we were worshiping in our home. And our kids go to church and they learn worship songs just like your kids and everybody's kids does, everybody out there. But when we'd worship at home, we found at times I'd be riding on the bike and we'd start singing a song like, you know, look at that dog sticking out his head, and the type of activity of worship that happens between me and Samuel riding our bike together at times can be more an experience of God's, you know, presence with me than any worship service I've ever been in, singing really deep songs and everything. And so I've always been one to sing very deep things, and kind of I go there real fast, you know, and that can sometimes be hard for some. But family's different because I just said, hey, let's just enjoy the present and the activity of our lives, and let's bring that kind of worship to our expression. And so we did that with family music, and it's unadulterated party. It's so much fun. And the kids dictated the tempo of the songs. They dictated how fast we did them. They took it how slow we did them. They kind of like led the project, and then they sang on it with us. And then, like I said, we tried to get grandpas on it and anybody that we could, just singing on that or playing instruments on it. And it's family music. It's supposed to be like your family when you're with your granddad, like our granddad to our kids, Peter Fisher. He puts that CD in, and he's taking the kids, you know, to go play, and they listen to that CD together and they sing it together. And so that's what family music is. So we wanted that to be a part. It's not going to be all of what I do, but it's like a little part of the totality of what worship is, and it's part of it. Some people don't think it's worship. I beg to differ. I think it's a real expression of worship, just like One Step Away is, or any number of songs that we've done in the past. And so we put it out. Family music. It's fun.
When is that set to come out? Do we know yet?
It's already out. We just released it. So I'm independent, so I stopped like making big announcements and stuff. I just write it, we get it done, and when we get it done, we just kind of just put it out there, and as people come to it, they come to it. So.
Well, all you got to do is Google Jason Upton. I mean, that's the best place, best way to get a hold of this guy. Last question, sure. and I think of this question that just kind of popped in. You know, when we were talking about songwriting and stuff like that. I think of a guy like Ian Eskelin, who was part of a pretty big band, All Star United, for many years, and he's kind of taken that back seat and kind of. I shouldn't say that's probably not the right word, backseat, but he's kind of in the background, you know, the scenes. He's not up there. He's doing lots of songwriting for other artists, etc., etc. Is that something that maybe interests you to do one day as kind of a full-time thing? As you know, performing is good and stuff like that, but I'd like to just focus on songwriting and songwriting for other artists, etc., etc. Is that something that interests you?
Sure. I mean, I'm certainly interested in it. I mean, I really don't think in those terms all that much. You know, I'm just kind of just doing what I feel God's called me to do, and I love songwriting. But yeah, I mean, I've always been interested in that. I love songwriting, so. I don't know if I'm going to write for other artists, but sure, it would interest me. I'd love to do it. Let me answer it this way. I would say that one of the things that I love is songwriting so much that I would love to just write songs for no other reason than just writing them. Just the challenge of writing a song may be different than maybe having a challenge like write a song about this. This is what I want to write a song about. And being able to help somebody else write a song if they couldn't write a song of something that they've got, a revelation that they've got, that would be cool. I would love to do that. Almost like a producer takes a person's vision of what they want something to sound like and they're able to do it. There's a lot of people that have unbelievable revelation that would be incredible song, but they don't know how to put it all together and make a song. That would be really interesting to me. I'd love to help with that.
Well, hopefully we've planted a seed, you know. I don't know. But thank you for your time, Jason. I appreciate your ministry and your music and you know, growing the kingdom. That's what it's all about, right? Yeah. Thank you.
Falling on every face, there is freedom.